Welcome back. So it's time to get some practice with these lifecycle methods, as well as just more practice solidifying everything we've seen around state, props, components, downward data flow, events, that sort of thing. So the first exercise here involves fetching data from an API, and we've already talked about where that should go, the conventional place, which lifecycle method. And the second exercise is a bit more involved. It actually requires you to use local storage to store some data in the browser and then fetch it back from the browser. So we'll get to that one. It's a little bit more complicated. So this first one is a deck of cards application. It's very simple. Here's a little prettier one than the So I refresh the page, we create a new deck with that API, we get that ID, and then every time I click this button, you're going to send another request to the API using that ID. So the endpoint is deckofcardsapi.com/API/deck, and then you put the deck ID right here /draw. So I'm going to replace that placeholder deck ID with my deck ID I just got. And now when I draw a card, I get remaining is 51. We have our deck ID, it hasn't changed, but then there's some cards that are included. Well, just one, because I only drew one. So it has a value, 6 of spades, it has a code, 6S, but most importantly, it has images. So you can use the SVG if you want, I just use the PNG, it looks like this, and that's what we're going to display. So every time we click a button, we're going to make a new request to this URL, and assuming that there are cards remaining, so you'll need to make sure there are cards remaining and handle, display an alert or display some text to a user that says you're out of cards. But if there are cards remaining, you'll take the card that you get back, and then you'll take that image source, that URL, and create a new image with it. In addition, make sure there is a descriptive, helpful alt attribute on your images. Rather than having it just be empty, include information about what card is being displayed in each image. So it's as simple as saying 6 of spades, 10 of clubs. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it. If you want to do the styling, I'll show you how in a separate video, but basically it's just randomly choosing an angle, randomly choosing some displacement up or down, a translation, translate X, translate Y, and then we pass them into CSS or to style as a CSS transform. I'll show it to you if you want to check it out. It will be the last video on the cards. So we'll get started in the next video. Think about the components you need. All right,